Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Sunday, May 3rd, 2020. I'm Dan, Ultimate Boston Red Sox Collector page on Facebook and YouTube videos. Want to talk about a couple things today. Obviously, it's Sunday, so no new mail today, but if you watched my video last night, you saw that I did a little feature about a player that you may have forgotten played for the Red Sox, a guy who otherwise had a really good career, who the Red Sox brought in for a year or possibly longer, depending on the player. And you kind of say, oh yeah, he did play for the Red Sox. So I'm going to feature another one of those guys tonight, talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about my new venture that I'm going to be adding to my Red Sox collection. I've been talking about trying to find some kind of a side collection, or start some kind of a side collection for the past few days, and I finally made the commitment today to do that. So talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. So I'm going to start off tonight by showing a card of a player, a pitcher that the Red Sox picked up during the 2009 season. It had an excellent career with the Braves, the Mets. It was a closer and a lefty, and the Red Sox brought him in 2009, and he actually did a pretty good job for the Red Sox. Nothing spectacular, but he was good, and he's on the cusp of the Hall of Fame. Has missed out for the past couple years, but he's close, and a lot of people think he should be in, especially since a lot of closers have been getting in the last 5 years or so. And that guy is Mr. Billy Wagner. Billy Houston also was another team that he had a lot of success for. This card is from the 2009 Heritage. That's his regular Heritage card. It's actually from the Archives buyback set, basically from 2018. This one is numbered 1 of 8, so very, very limited. I got a really good deal on this one when I picked it up. I saw a couple other ones sell for probably almost twice what I paid for mine. Again, I'm always trying to get cards, especially autograph cards of guys who are kind of obscure within the Red Sox. So Wagner pitched pretty good for the Sox that year. I was checking out the stats on the back of the card. He had a 2.30 ERA, 52 strikeouts in 47 innings. He did a good job for them. I think he only played the 2009 season there. As you can see, it's a nice autograph, fairly easy to figure out if you didn't know who it was. Pretty clean. And again, numbered to 8, and it's card 1 of 8. So that's Billy Wagner, somebody who you probably forgot played for the Red Sox. So the next thing I'm going to talk about for a few minutes here is my new endeavor in collecting. Let me first say that I'm no way, shape, or form giving up my Red Sox collection or stopping or moving in a different direction. I'm going to continue with that till they put me in the ground, I'm sure. I'm not going anywhere with that. I'm going to continue to add to it. I just been itching lately to start something else to kind of, make things a little more interesting. Maybe something to spice up some of these videos, get some more viewers, get some more subs. And I've been trying to think what would be a safe sort of collection to do where I'm not going to spend a lot of money and then lose it down the line and then not be able to recoup what I'm going to spend on it. I do have a budget like every other person. It's not a big budget for cards, and I don't want to cut too far into my Red Sox card collection budget for this either. So it's just something I'm going to do on the side, but I wanted to kind of jumpstart it, and I was thinking, how can I do that? So what I've decided to collect is cards of Hall of Famers, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Sorry, I had to hit the pause button on that real quick. Wife was asking me a question. So, kind of lost my train of thought, but again, getting into collecting Hall of Famers. I figure those cards aren't going down in value at this point. With all of the sets that were made in the late 90s and early 2000s and throughout the 2000s and even up to the current day, a lot of the card companies are putting cards of Hall of Famers in their sets. And not just, short prints and super short prints. They're putting in cards into the base set. So there's tons of opportunities to get Hall of Fame players. And I've also, as a Red Sox collector, I often search on eBay by lowest price plus shipping. And there's a lot of people that do penny auctions with free shipping, and so I'm always checking the Red Sox cards on that. I said, well, let me just, for curiosity's sake, do a search for baseball Hall of Famers. Well, eBay's a little finicky with searches. I mean, I've found stuff when I search baseball Hall of Famer lot that I don't see, that are Red Sox lots that I don't see when I search Red Sox lot. So it's a little frustrating. It is what it is. I know I've missed out on some stuff in the past because of that, but it is what it is. But I just haven't really been able to find anything good on eBay. And what I'm running into, I'm looking for something, couple hundred cards at least, to get started. And preferably just a mixture. I don't want to buy all one player out of the gate. I want a mixture. I want to get 25, 30, 40, 50 different guys, a couple cards of each. And so I found a couple lots that looked interesting, said advertised as, anywhere from 2 to 500 different Hall of Fame baseball cards. Great. Open it up, look at the pictures. Start looking at the pictures. When did Mark McGwire get elected to the Hall of Fame? When did Roger Clemens get elected to the Hall of Fame? When did Barry Bonds get elected to the Hall of Fame? When did, who else? Let's see, Juan Gonzalez. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. This is the problem. If you're going to sell something online, do a little research before you do it. People do very misleading things on their auctions. They'll throw in these cards as a way to try to get rid of them, and I get it, but don't advertise them as all Hall of Famers if they're not all Hall of Famers. This is the reason I've decided to go this route instead of what I originally talked about a few videos ago about ripping wax and buying wax boxes from the late 80s and early 90s that are dirt cheap and just separating the Hall of Famers. Well, I don't want a bunch of non-Hall of Famers and common cards from that junk era taking up all kinds of space in my basement. I don't have the room for it, for one, and I don't want it. I had all those cards years ago. I don't want them all again. I just want the Hall of Famers. So I'm going to talk about some orders that I placed today to kind of jumpstart that. I completely steered clear of mid-80s through mid-90s cards. The earliest card I bought, I think, was from 95, when there was more sets and more premium sets and more inserts. I stayed completely away from those sets because I think eventually I can get those if I buy small collections, or, I can find those lots a little cheaper. But so I completely focused on mid-90s and up. And I went on Sport Lots, which is my go-to site when I'm looking for things inexpensively, because they are by far the cheapest starting price at 18 cents a card. Beckett is 50 cents. ComC is up to 60 plus cents. It's ridiculous. Card Barrel, the former Just Common site, is cheaper than Beckett and ComC, but not as cheap as Sport Lots. And I've bought 100 plus orders over the years on Sport Lots, and I love what they do with the sellers. They have a thing called Sport Lots Sellers Loot, and because I buy from different people, I actually had some loot in my account, if you will. And I went down through, and the first person on my list, I had almost $5 in loot. So I said, okay, I'll place a small order with him. And I went on his site, I searched by player. I just started naming players off in my head that I knew were in the Hall of Fame that I might want to start with. And I'd go through and, okay, 18 cents, click, 18 cents, click. Like I said, I steered away from, basically anything from 1986 to 1994. I steered completely clear of that stuff. There were a couple guys I bought from like 82, 83, 84 that were 18 cents, just because, they're in the Hall of Fame, and I wanted to get those cards. So I bought a couple, but most of what I bought today was from 1995 to 2019, 2020 is what I bought today. And I placed a couple of different orders for roughly right around 300 cards. I tried to, and I've got some cards of Babe Ruth, DiMaggio, Mantle, Cobb, Aaron, Clemente. I got a lot of different players, the guys that I could think of off the top of my head. And believe it or not, Babe Ruth was one of the last ones I searched. I didn't search any old-time guys. And I figure I'm going to be able to get, and I didn't pay more. The most I paid for any one card was 40 cents. And it was a Archives, I believe it was 2001 Topps Archives Reserve Roy Campanella, which is the 52 Topps card, which is one of my favorite cards of all time, non-Red Sox. Love that card. It's in the high series, hard to get in high grade, and big bucks when you can find one in high grade. So I got the Archives Reserve, which is basically like the chrome card of that, and that was the most I paid for any card, was 40 cents. I think I paid a quarter for a couple other ones, and then every other card I bought was 18 cents. I cashed in my loot. I had about $8. I had about an $8 credit for a refund in my PayPal account. So all in, I spent about $38 to get about 300 cards of all Hall of Famers. And I'm super excited because probably about 75 of these are going to be insert cards. I found so many guys that had big names, 18 cents a card. I'm like, you cannot go wrong. I Getting back to what I was saying before about watching the penny auctions on eBay. I bought 3 times now. I've bought cards that sellers were doing a penny opening bid and free shipping, and I won 3 different cards that I've ended up winning for less than 25 cents, and I can't even pay for them because something to do with sales tax, that it's not enough to even charge the sales tax on, and eBay will not allow me to pay for them. And it's so frustrating because it's like, I'm not trying to scam the system, I just want to buy the cards cheap. And so anyway, the point of that story is that I bought a Dwight Evans Drake's card from a seller last week, and again, I couldn't pay for it. I wrote him. I said, I don't know why this happens, but I can't. So I'm going to look at some of your other auctions, maybe try to pick up a couple other cards. Well, he had some Dwight Evans cards. Now, Dwight Evans, you all know I love Dwight Evans. He's not a Hall of Famer. Should he be? If Tim Raines is in the Hall of Fame, and Andre Dawson is in the Hall of Fame, and Gary Carter is in the Hall of Fame, then Dwight Evans has a very good case to be in the Hall of Fame as well. You look at the stats side by side, they're pretty similar, and they played in the same era. So, no, I'm not going to get too much into that, but love Dwight Evans. And he had a couple of mid-'80s cards that he had listings for, and I was trying to bid on a couple of them just to bump up the order a little bit so I could actually pay for it. And Dwight Evans cards ended up selling for close to $1 a card with free shipping. And I was, wow, I'm like, he's not even a Hall of Famer. He's a fairly popular player, but not crazy popular outside of Boston, probably. And so that was another thing I was thinking. If by chance I decide, hey, I don't want to do this, I'm going to change gears. I'm going to switch gears, or I'm going to get out of it. I can turn around and flip these on penny lots. All the cards I bought today, I'm fairly confident I can make more than I paid for them today if I sold them the day that I get them by doing penny auctions on eBay. That's how confident I am. So like I said, about 300 cards coming. I'm super excited. A lot of insert cards, a lot of big names. My next challenge is going to be figuring out how I want to store them. I used to store all of my Red Sox insert cards and vintage cards in top loaders. And a couple years ago, I decided that I was going to put all my insert cards in binders because it would just be, for space purposes, a lot easier. I had always thought about possibly, displaying all my insert cards by year in display cases, and I just changed my mind. I said, well, I'm just going to put them in binders. It's easier to keep track of. I can actually see what I have without flipping through all these top loaders. And so I have probably between 2,000 and 3,000 top loaders in boxes underneath one of my tables in the other room that I haven't used. And over the years, I've thought about selling them because people do pay for used top loaders. They're in good shape. There's no sticker marks on any of them. Tape marks. I've gone through and separated all the ones that are crappy. I use those when I send cards out in care packages or when I sell something on eBay, because I usually offer 55-cent shipping in a plain white envelope, so I don't want to spend too much more. I don't want to lose money on shipping, so I use those for that. But I have a couple thousand of those, and I think the other option I was thinking was just to put everything in binders and pages. Well, I kind of did the math in my head today that through my local card store, which is the only one that we have really in the state of Maine, there's one down in Portland, but he's getting more into comics and record albums now. So if I was to buy a box of pages, Ultra Pro pages, and a binder, Ultra Pro binder, it cost me roughly $27 with tax. Roughly $27 to $28. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to need 3 or 4 binders to get started. And my plan was, okay, if I put them all in pages and I alphabetize them safely, 75 pages in a binder. If I bought 4 boxes of pages, or 3 boxes of pages, had 300 pages, and I bought 4 binders, how much would that cost me? And I figured it would cost me around $80. But I figure if I put 75 pages per book, that's 225, that's about 2,100 cards. That would cost me about $80. So it would cost me about 4 cents a card to store them. So when you add it to what I'm paying for them, I'd be investing, if I continue to buy, at 18 cents a card with the shipping. I'm looking at about 25 cents a card, storage included, which isn't too bad, and it would be nice. You could flip through them. I still haven't made up my mind yet. I thought about maybe just putting them in penny sleeves and putting them in 1,600 count boxes and putting separators in between it. I still haven't finalized that. I think I am going to put the insert cards in my used top loaders that I have, because I have plenty of those to get started and probably keep me going for a couple of years on those, because I hate wasting those. They're just sitting in boxes, and they spend a lot of money on those, so I'd like to get some use out of them. But that's what I'm thinking right now. If anybody else has some ideas, shoot some comments down below. And I'm excited. I'm hoping that I've already gotten confirmation that 3 of the orders I placed during the course of the day have already shipped or have been prepared for shipping. They'll ship tomorrow, obviously. I'm hoping that the other ones are completed as well. I think I placed 6 orders altogether. Used up my seller's loot, or most of it, and because reaccumulated new sellers loot, so I'll be looking again, and I know that there's thousands more that I'm going to be able to find at that price as well. So I'll just chip away at it, and I'm really excited. New chapter in my collecting. So wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight, and I'm looking forward to getting some of the cards in the mail this week. I do have a big Burbank Sports Cards order coming probably in the next 2 or 3 days. That's going to be all Red Sox cards off my 2009 want list, so I'll be sharing that as well. And I have several other eBay auctions that I've won that will be coming in as well. So that's what I have for tonight. I hope everybody has had a good weekend. We just had a beautiful day here in Maine. Got the deck cleaned today, got the patio furniture all clean, power washed the deck. We're good to go. We're ready to go. We're going to start working on the pool next. So hopefully we get some longer days here. I might try to do a video or 2 outside too. The neighbors might be kind of looking over like, who's he talking to? But I don't care. I like doing this, and it's fun for me. So that's all I have for tonight. Hope everybody has a safe Sunday evening, and get ready for the new work week. And we will talk to you again tomorrow. See you soon.